Yeah. So this should go to the side for this, but make sure the veil goes out the back.
And girls, are we just going to walk very slowly
Veil
behind
out the back of the chair.
Is it like this?
On Raglan Road of an autumn day, I saw her first and knew that her dark hair would weave a snare that I might one day rue. I saw the danger and I passed along the enchanted way, and I said, let grief be a fallen leaf at the dawning of the day. On Grafton Street in November, we tripped lightly along the ledge of a deep ravine where can be seen the worth of passion's pledge. The Queen of Hearts still making tarts, and I not making hay. Oh, I loved too much, and by such is happiness thrown away. I gave her gifts of the mind, I gave her the secret sign that's known to the artists who have known the true gods of sound and the stone, and word and tint without stint. I gave her poems to say, with her own name there and her own dark hair, like clouds over fields of May.
In the presence of everybody here, family and friends, Christ blesses this love, and He's already consecrated you in baptism, and now by a special sacrament He invites you to fulfill the duties of your married life. Caoilfhionn and Peter, you're about to celebrate the sacrament. Have you come here of your own free will and choice, without compulsion to marry each other?
We have.
Will you love and honour each other all the days of your life?
We will.
Are you willing to accept with love the children God may send you and bring them up in accordance with His law of the Church?
We are.
I invite you then to declare before God and His Church your consent to become husband and wife.
I, Peter, take you, Caoilfhionn, as my wife, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, all the days of our life.
I, Caoilfhionn, take you, Peter, as my husband, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, all the days of our life.
What God joins together, we humans must not separate. May the Lord confirm the consent that you have given and enrich you with His blessings.
Caoilfhionn, I give you this ring as a token of all I possess. Wear this ring as a sign of our faithful love, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. There you go.
Thank you. Peter, I give you this ring as a token of all I possess. Wear this ring as a sign of our faithful love, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you.
Okay.
In the eyes of the Church, I now pronounce you Peter, man and wife. Caoilfhionn and Peter will now light that single candle from the two which they lit at the beginning of Mass.
So I promise to give you the best
of myself and to ask of you no more than you can give.
I promise to respect you as a person
with your own needs, desires, and interests. I realize that those are sometimes different, but no less important than my own. I promise to share with you my time, close attention, and to bring joy and strength to our relationship. I promise to grow along with you and to be willing to face change as we both change. And finally, to love you in the good times and the bad, with all I have to give and all I feel inside, in the only way I know how, completely and forever. Amen.
Everything is free now, that's what they say. Everything I ever done, gotta give it away. Someone hit the big score, they figured it out. They were gonna do it anyway, even if it doesn't pay. Try to make a little change down at the bar, or I can get a I'm working for. Everything is free now, that's what they say. Everything I ever done, gotta give it away. Someone hit the big score, they figured it out. They were gonna do it anyway, even if it doesn't pay. Every day I wake up, humming a song, but I don't need to run around, I just stay at home and sing a little love song, my love and myself. It's something that you wanna hear, you can sing it yourself, 'cause everything is free now, that's what I said. No one's gotta listen to the words in my head. Someone hit the big score, I figured it out, and I'm gonna do it anyway, even if it doesn't pay. Everything is free now, that's what they say. Everything I ever done, gonna give it away.
In the half-light
Okay, hello. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to all you beautiful humans. It's amazing to have you here. So I wrote my speech out because I get a bit nervous about things. But so I'm just going to read it out. Hello, everyone. Firstly, as I said a minute ago, I just want to say how lovely it is to be surrounded by all of you beautiful humans, and how grateful I am that y'all decided to show up for my wedding today. Big thanks to special guest Peter Lawler, aka Polly Tunnel, for flying in and making an appearance on my big day as well. It wouldn't be the same without you here. I wasn't sure if I should make a speech or not, but I thought about this wedding for a long time, a very long time. Thanks to yourself. So I thought I may as well say a few words, but I'll keep it short and sweet because as you all know, I'm cripplingly shy. Okay, so I just want to start off firstly by saying, and I'm sure you'll all agree, how stunning the groomsmen are this evening. Especially Jared, of course. But sure, it runs in the family. Generally, though, I love all of Peter's friends, and all of the groomsmen are such a group of absolute gents. It's just such a pity we couldn't have squeezed in a few more. Thanks so much to Peter's mum, Joanne. Hello. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, and his dad, Jerry, for being so lovely and welcoming to me always. It's fairly obvious where Peter got his sense of humour from anyway. It runs through the veins of the Lawlers and has obviously been passed down through the lineage of Lawler men from generation to generation. Father to son, father to son. Special thanks to Joanne, for putting up with a mad woman hanging out in her house for the last 10 years. And for being the hippest mother-in-law around. So woo! Thanks.
Because you're touching that.
Oh, is it?
Like that.
Thank you. I knew I needed you here. Thanks as well to Peter's aunties, uncles, cousins, and friends of the family. You've always reminded me of my own family, because there is something very special about how close you all are. I'll never forget my first time in your Uncle Andy's pub and how it always brought everyone together. You're honestly all such a genuine bunch of dotes, and I'm very happy to be blackmailing my way into your family. Come on now. My Auntie Aileen and Uncle Pat couldn't come today, but they need to get a special mention as well because they've always been there with solid life advice. Just before my leaving cert, my Auntie Aileen said, "Caoilfhionn, don't aim too high and you'll never be disappointed." As you can see, I've followed that piece of advice all my life. Only joking, John. Only joking. I love you. I'm sorry. Come on now. Thanks as well to my Auntie Judy and Uncle Aidan for always being here. And even though you spent the last 30 years in Canada, for some reason it always felt like you were only down the road. I'm glad you're both home with us now though, so thank you. My Auntie Stephanie and Uncle Tomas, I'm so glad you're part of this day. I'll always remember our holidays in Clare and Lahinch and how welcoming and kind you were to us when we visited your house in Lissie-Casey. They were also very kind enough to sponsor the cake for today, so make sure you eat it. Okay, it's delicious. Thank you. Auntie Olive and Uncle Jim for always looking after me and always being there for me. You're more like an extra mum and dad than an auntie and uncle. And thanks to Seamus and Fiacre for keeping Santa around, because he is around. I'm apparently an only child, but as most of you know, I basically have two brothers who unfortunately never asked for a baby in their house. Seamus was happy enough to look after me, but Fiacre not so much. He apparently dropped me on my head when I was a baby, and I suppose that explains a lot today, when you think about it. Fiacre's penance came later on in college. I think it was twice he had to break down my bedroom door a minute when I got too drunk and locked myself in. Even after this, he always provided me with alcohol, so thanks again for that, Fiacre. Help me, where am I? Thank you. Sorry. It's okay. Thanks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He also got me my first rented house in Maynooth, Beaufield number 9. which is where I met some of the loveliest friends, Niamh, Stacey, Kate and James, who have stuck around through the good times and the bad. So thanks to you guys too for still being my friends. I know I can be a lot. Just on the back of that, I want to thank Seamus again for the beautiful music today at the church, and for serenading the family all his life. Your back must ache from carrying the rest of the family all these years as the only talented member. So rest up and have a seat, and sure, while you're at it, you may as well give us an Ellis song. Later. Okay, to my fairy godparents, Hannah and Robin, thank you so much for all you've ever done for Mam and I. You literally couldn't have been better godparents if you tried. Niall, thanks for being my fairy godbrother in crime and always getting us up to mischief growing up. If we weren't stepping on nails or falling down gigantic holes, then I'm fully convinced we wouldn't be the people we are today. So thanks. And thanks to John for getting me my very first beautiful car, a blue Peugeot, which I named Blue Joe, and at an amazing deal. So well done. Thanks. I'll never forget, this is about John, I'll never forget when we were getting it NCT'd and I was with John and a wasp flew in and I was terrified because I hate wasps, and I looked to John for help and he'd already jumped out of the car screaming. I can always count on you, John, so thank you. Come on now. I'm nearly done, sorry. Nolene, Kate, Connell, and Connell. Nolene, you're definitely the sister from another mister my mum never had, and Kate, you obviously are to me. Special thanks to Nolene for letting me grow up in her house. She had no choice really. Kate and myself would hide random pieces of our clothing anytime Mam wanted to go home. Eventually, at one point, my Mam got sick of it and ended up dragging me home with no shoes on, and that put an end to that. Peter Mooney has to be mentioned today as well, because he was one of the kindest people who walked the planet and such an important person to me growing up. Peter always had a fry on the table and an Irish coffee at Christmas, and no matter what time we went to bed, he would always pop in and say goodnight to us and took us in. One of the many times myself and Kate got in trouble as teenagers, Peter bought the two Mams a present of I think it was a cherry tree, and it is still growing today out our back garden. So you're welcome, Mam, or Mam is, and you're welcome, Nolene. Angie, thanks for being the best neighbour anyone could have asked for. Angie has 7 kids and still always makes extra food for us. She's our resident Meals on Wheels. Angie is one of the kindest people I've ever met, and I'll never forget how much she has done to us. So wherever you are, she's probably looking after Freddie, but thanks, Angie. Now, the bridesmaids. Or as I like to call you, the absolute rides babes. And of course, to the teacher turned wedding planner, Shauna, whoever she is. You're amazing, Shauna, and definitely a team leader. Maybe consider becoming principal if you don't move into full-time wedding planning. I've too much to say here to all of you because you're all talented in your own unique way. But thank you for filling my life with joy, laughter, support and presence. I love you all very much and I'm so lucky to have you in my life. I'm sure I'll find you all later in the night for some unPG thank yous. So, thank you. Now, to Eileen. Where's Eileen? Not here. Great. If Eileen could get every minute of her life back that she spent listening to me crying at her over the phone over all my life's problems, then she would be a lot younger. Eileen used to play Barbies with me when we were younger, and she would always kill off the male Barbie so we could end the game. This is so annoying. It was very traumatizing, and I'm amazed that today I'm marrying a Peter instead of a Paula as a result. Only joking. You're an amazing mother, daughter, and a realist, which is what I need in my life. Thank you for being the best pretend sister anyone could ask for. Most of you here will have met my mum, Blonid or Blah. If you know Blah and you're lucky enough to be friends with her, then you'll know what having a true friend feels like, and you'll also know what knowing a crazy person feels like. Blah is definitely one of a kind. When God created Adam and Eve, God created Blah. She's a nurse through and through. She took me in until I was 30. She still makes me lunch every day. She's always been there for me and supported me no matter what stupid idea I've had next, and as you're all aware, there have been many. I don't know how she puts up with it, but she does, and she still thinks I'm the best thing that ever happened to her, God love her. Ma'am, thanks for getting me this far. You did your best. I'm Peter's problem now, so you can relax. Try and relax a bit. And sure, look, I'm leaving the best to last. Where's Freddie? I'm joking. Only joking, Peter. I'm talking about you, my now husband and absentee father to the best doggy in the world. I don't want to get overly emotional or anything, but you're a very nice man. And very reliable. And you always text me back, which is generally so hard to find in a man these days. Myself and Peter met in college in 2008, where we became friends. Then we became very good friends, and eventually we decided to become best friends. I like that it started out like that because I got to see how he treats all his friends. You're so supportive and caring, and you never shut down whatever mental idea Steve has next, for example, even though most people just say he's mad. Only joking, Stephen. Nobody says that. Anyway, Peter is the yin to my yang, my bing to my bang, my ping to my pong. He works away quietly in the background, slowly thinking of sarcastic comments that will annoy me and almost always succeeding. Peter has taught me not to take life too seriously, and if I get stressed, he generally knows what to say to make me feel better. He doesn't say much, but usually I can tell from his facial expressions how angry he actually is at me. And who knows, by the end of the speech, you might get to see that face for yourselves. He's a talented musician and is a literal music dictionary. His passion for music is definitely contagious. I think we can all agree he's easy on the eye. Come on now. All the girls fancied him in college and all the lads used to pull me over and ask me if my friend Peter was gay. Peter knows how to dress. He won Best Dress at Maria's wedding and never lets that go. Shout out to Maria for looking after me throughout life and just for being Maria. Anyway, I read somewhere recently that there are two kinds of people in a relationship. The person who packs the passports and the person who forgets where they're going. Which reminds me of the time we went on holiday and landed in the wrong airport. So sorry about that, Peter. We obviously know who's who. All the messing aside though, and I know you'll hate me showing you any sort of public affection, but I love you. Look, now everyone knows. You're my favourite person, and I honestly don't know where I'd be without you. So thank you. Thanks very much for that. Thank you. I have a few godchildren dotted around the room. Maeve, Killian, Seamus, and the latest release, Baby Jack. Hello. Thank you all for coming today. I promise from now I will always remember your birthdays. Hopefully I'll be a better mother than I am godmother. Okay, and I'm nearly done, sorry. Special thanks to Freddie as well, wherever he is, for being the best friend ever, for giving me all the hugs and kisses, but also for making me realise that I'm definitely still too young to have children. So they say that speeches should have a beginning, middle and an end, but I wanted this speech to feel authentic, like you're having an actual conversation with me. Meaning that the punchline was lost somewhere in the middle and now we'll finish at the start. So thanks so much, everyone, for being here today again. And let's raise a glass, if you have one, to the stunning groom, friend, educator, and all-around musical annihilator, Peter Lawler! Holly Channel!
Thank you.
Oh, thank God. Thank you. Thanks very much. I'm done, yeah.
Hi, everyone. I don't know how I'm going to follow that, but I'll try anyway. But mine will be very short. I'd like to thank everyone for coming today to celebrate Peter and Caoilfhionn's wedding. It means a lot to have family and friends here today. And I'd just like to mention two very special family members who, unfortunately, due to ill health, can't be here with us today. Our sister Monica and brother Andy. But they're greatly missed and are in our thoughts. I want to welcome Caoilfhionn into the Murray Lawler family. The first time I met Caoilfhionn was very briefly when they both graduated from Maynooth. They were friends at that stage. The next time we met was in November 2012. They had been going out together for a while, and Peter's cousin Linda, who's here today, and Danny were getting married on the 9th of November 2012. They were both invited. Unfortunately, our mum passed away on the day before Linda's wedding, so there was a lot of kind of stress and upheaval. But Caoilfhionn stayed in our house for a couple of days and attended the wedding and funeral. On the day she left, when I arrived home, she had left a card for me and a present. I can't remember everything she wrote, but I do remember where she said I was very lucky to have my family all around me and how close we were, and that we reminded her of her own extended family. Oh, right now. Sorry. Those words have stuck with me over the years and meant a lot to me at the time. I didn't really know Caoilfhionn well at that time, but I immediately thought that this is one thing that they would both have in common, how important family is, immediate and extended family. I'm glad to say I got to know Caoilfhionn very well over the years. Not only is she beautiful on the outside, but she is beautiful in every way, and I'm so happy that she's now officially my daughter-in-law. Blá, Caoilfhionn is an absolute credit to you, and I'm sure you're so proud to see the beautiful young woman here today. Now to Peter. Well, a lot of you might not believe this, but this extremely calm, laid-back Peter you know and see here before you wasn't always the case. Peter's older brother was due on the 31st of August, a long time ago, Jared, I won't say the year, but I went 2 weeks overdue on Jared, so when I was pregnant on Peter, I assumed the very same thing was going to happen, but no. Peter was due on the 5th of May, and he duly arrived on that date. He was born within 20 minutes of me getting to the hospital. I didn't have a paracetamol, there was no gas and air, he was there. And that should have been a warning to me. From when he was born until he was 3 months old, he was the dream baby. Sorry, I have this all wrong. Wait, now, we'll throw that away.
Yeah, get rid of that.
Yeah. Cracker of a goal. Oh, yeah. So when he should have slept, he slept when he should and he took his feeds when he should. But then when he was 3 months old, it was like someone turned a switch on and this hyper Peter appeared and stayed that way until he was 12 years old. When I say hyper, he was just constantly all go. You know the expression, eyes in the back of your head? With Peter, you would have needed that and more. I remember his granddad, Sean, bringing Peter to Mass one Sunday. He was around 5 at the time. Dad would have previously brought Jared to Mass and no problem. But anyway, they went off and I knew when Daddy came back, the expression on his face said it all. And he just said to me, I'll never bring that child to Mass again. Seemingly, Peter was everywhere but in the seat. Because Peter was so hyper, I got him involved in so many activities: soccer, hurling, rollerblading, rugby, horse riding. He was constantly on the go. I remember one time his brother Jared was playing a soccer match. It was a final, and I borrowed a camcorder from Jackie and Joe, who are here today, to record the game. Peter came with me, and all during the game, all I could hear was, "Ma'am, look at this. Ma'am, did you get that?" And that wasn't Jared playing the game. That was Peter on his rollerblades, hopping up and down on a bench behind me. Anyway, Jared scored a cracker of a goal, and his manager at the time ran over to me and said, "Joanne, did you get that goal? It was brilliant." Of course, just before Jared scored, Peter had called me for the 100th time to record him, so the wonder goal was missed. Little did I know at that time that all it would take to calm him down was music. I love music. All our family sing, except myself and my sister. Give the Murrays any excuse for a sing-song and we're in. So the lads grew up listening to all types of music, but there was never any musical instruments in our house. When Peter was around 10 or 11, he got interested in guitar. He started guitar lessons with his good friend Neil, one of the Wonder groomsmen here today. And Neil's dad, Owen, was an extremely talented artist, a signwriter, and also played guitar, and he gave Peter great encouragement, and a great love affair began. We went from no musical instruments to numerous guitars, drums, keyboard, and even a cello at one stage. Growing up, people would say Peter looked very like the Lawler side of the family, very like his dad with his brown eyes and dark hair. But that wasn't the only Lawler trait he has. From a very young age, Peter loved money. I remember asking him for his 4th birthday what he wanted, and he said, "Money, but it has to be paper money." When I told... Is that true?
That is true, yes.
When I told his granddad, Sean, he said, "Oh, he's a Lawler, all right. A Lawler from the butt of Mount Leinster." My late brother Martin used to write Peter a cheque for £5 for his birthday, and P would be delighted. He always cashed it, of course. So from about 12 years old, he has immersed himself in listening to, playing and making music. And I know I'm biased, as most mums are, but I do think he has done an exceptional job. Usually the teenage years can be a trying time for parents, and then sitting exams, going off to college, but not so for me. This calm, laid-back Peter reappeared and has stayed with us. Jared and himself grew up really good friends, other than the time that Jared threatened to smother Peter with a pillow because they shared a room and he said that Peter snored. Thankfully, that didn't happen. I just separated them. From when both the boys were very young, I worked full-time during the day and worked late nights in a bar in Kilkenny, and that meant I was away from the house a lot. This just wouldn't have been possible without the support of my family. You know the saying, it takes a village to rear a child. Well, in our case, it took my family, and especially Peter's nanny and granddad, Myra and Sean, played such an important part in Peter's life, from when he was a baby right through to adulthood. I know they would be so happy and proud to see Peter here today, and I know they would have both loved Caoilfhionn as well. It would be very interesting to hear them pronounce your name, Caoilfhionn. I suspect there would have been a number of variations. Also, my sister Monica was like a second mother to both my lads. Myself and the boys live in number 3, and Monica and Ashley live in number 6. And Mon was a constant in Peter's life growing up, and I know she would love to be here today to share this special day with you both. I've been blessed to have Peter as my son, and I do know how lucky I've been. I'm very proud of the man we see here today, and I want to wish Peter and Caoilfhionn a long life of happiness and good health. I will finish up with a little verse somewhere. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just very short. Now you will feel no rain, for each of you will be a shelter for the other. Now you will feel no cold, for each of you will be warm to the other. Now there will be no loneliness, for each of you will be a companion to the other. Now you are 2 persons, but there is only one life before you. May beauty surround you both in the journey ahead and through all the years. May happiness be your companion and your days together be good and long upon the earth. That's it.
Hello everybody. I'm so delighted to see you all, and thanks so much for coming after these 10 years. But anyway, what can I say? I'm going to speak with my daughter first, check what you after. Well, what can I say? She's the best thing that ever happened to me. And I don't know, I'd be old without her. Now, I didn't rear her on my own. Aidan came up when I had her and stayed for a fortnight with me. I went out to Hannah and Robin. They were godparents. Down to Jim and Olive for 20 years, who minded her and looked after her in every way. And then we came back to each other. Yeah. And I'm so proud of her for all she's done. I'm telling you the truth. But I mean, she's lovely and she's everything, but it all came from me, really. Now, Peter, as far as I'm concerned, is the nicest lad you ever could meet. And his family are lovely. I've met them. He's caring and like Caoilfhionn, to be honest. And I'm so glad to have him in the family with us. And he told me this morning anyway that I was. Now, we're going to have dinner now, and you can all go ahead for it, please God. And that's it. And I'm. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, obviously I'm the father of the groom. I would like to welcome everybody here today. Special welcome into the family for Caoilfhionn. Beautiful girl, complimented by my beautiful son, Peter. Peter is a fantastic son. He's talented. His musical talents are great. He's a great teacher. He is something that any father would want in a son. Very appreciative of me, his mother, and a laid-back attitude like myself. Caoilfhionn definitely compliments Peter. She's a beautiful girl, and they're going to have a long and happy life together. There's nothing surer of that. Plus, she sang a song today in the church. I thought it was great. You know, I mean, beautiful voice, and you know, Peter is full of music. I remember when he was 10 years of age, he dragged me onto a Limp Bizkit concert in Wembley. And I was there. I went along with this, and you know, I like music. Like, you know, I mean, everybody likes music, you know. But there's limitations as well, you know what I mean. And I went in, and there was a lot of rock, and I think it was an American rock band come rap job, yeah. And it was the first time, you know, I mean. The last time I got a rap was, I think, in school or something like that, you know. So, but other than that, I was there, and there was people in front of me, there was people behind me, and I had to rock. And you know, that isn't me. I had to go that way, I had to go this way. I was going to get a head in the face or back. So I think Peter, at some stage, did take a bit of sympathy on me, and about 15 minutes before the concert was his dad, he said, "Do you want to go?" So I said, "Yeah, let's go," you know. A couple of years later, I think we went down to Brixton Academy. We went down to see Damien Rice in Brixton Academy. And, you know, I thought it was like one extreme to the other type of thing, you know. And I enjoyed that, to be quite honest with you. I enjoyed that. I think he was at an age where I could actually have a pint with him. I think, what age were you? About 14, yeah. So he was thereabouts, you know. So I said, yeah. So, you know, Peter, you know, he was a great guy. He has travelled a bit. He's gone to Berlin. He went to Canada. And I was trying to get a correlation between Berlin and Canada, you know, because, you know, when he went to Canada, I remember I did see an advertisement years ago, "Drink Canada Dry," you know, and I was just wondering, was he taking that literally, you know? And then I did sort of look up something about Berlin, and they have the biggest beer garden in the world, you know. So, you know, we have a lot in common, type of thing. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say, you know. So, congratulations to both of you. You're going to have a great life together, and I'll be there to support you when you're drinking Canada Dry on an ongoing basis. I would also like to say, sort of here today, just to sort of wrap this up, is that there are a couple of people that are missing here today, and, you know, great friends of mine over the years, Monica, and Andy, as Joanne said, are sort of, you know, they're not well enough to be here today. Martin, who was a fantastic friend of mine back the years as well, is not here. But there's loads of other people, I suppose. You know, my mother, she's not here. She died in November. She's not here today. Maeve, she was a great woman. Joanne's both parents are not here today. So I'd like to have a thought for them as well, you know, because those are people that would have loving to be here today, you know. And on saying all of that, thanks be to God, I'm going to be sitting down now in about 10 seconds. But I do wish Caoilfhionn, Peter, a fantastic life together. There's some grandchildren probably going to be somewhere down the line and stuff like that. But I won't, you know, I mean, I won't put any pressure on you there. But you're going to have a fantastic life together. You complement each other, and things are looking good.
I'm afraid we're not done yet. And if Caoilfhionn and Peter never have kids, it'll be the fault of all her cousins for having put her off having had children, I'm afraid. When Caoilfhionn asked me to speak at the wedding, initially the feminist in me was delighted. I was like, my work here is done. And the public speaker in me was not so thrilled. But here we are, so bear with me. So I suppose for many of you, you know that Caoilfhionn and Peter have been together a very, very, very long time. So today came as no surprise to most of us here. But from my side of the family, it actually came as a big surprise, because for over half of Caoilfhionn's life, she spoke of how she was going to marry our first cousin Seamus. Yes. Unfortunately, we couldn't get this special dispensation from the Pope, so here we are. She did go for another musician, in fairness to her, so there is a type. There's a level of consistency. Obviously, I've known Caoilfhionn all her life, and I could tell you many, many, many stories, but that would not be fair. So we'll just keep to a few. So Caoilfhionn in her youth was an avid nudist. Not many people know that. But it actually took a long time for the family and her mother. We all came together, put a lot of energy into encouraging Caoilfhionn to wear clothes. And I think it paid off. She looks good today. Yeah? Yes. And I think, as many of you saw as well today, Caoilfhionn's a bit of a dark horse. She's a complex character. She's a woman of many talents. She loves classical music. We all know she's an absolutely beautiful voice, which none of us had heard of before today. Yes. She's a huge romantic, but she's also very quirky and crazy, and I don't know where she gets that from. But Caoilfhionn actually once attended a human rights march for Palestine with me. I was very proud of her. She wore a Palestinian keffiyeh scarf. I said, "Oh, I love the scarf." She's like, "What?" I was like, "You wore the keffiyeh for the march." And she's like, "Got it in pennies." I was like, "Okay." So then Peter came into the lives of our family about 10 years ago at my brother's wedding, along with 2 other men, Niall and Terence, who've survived to this day. And I suppose the one thing that I learned about Peter very quickly was that his immense musical talent. This is what we hear from Caoilfhionn. His immense musical talent, his love of cardigans, which we've all come to terms with, and his beautiful lips. I don't know how many people here have been told about Peter. I think they deserve a moment, yes. Shout out to Joanne, I think they're from Mammy. But anyways, beautiful lips and beautiful eyes, but that we've been listening to this for 10 years. So I think the most important thing today is that Peter has now become a gold card member of a club of men who have all married or settled down with Mac women, right? Which is no mean feat, let me tell you. Mac women go for men who are strong, independent, and generally good cooks, right? We're not good. And Mac women, in turn, are very independent, strong-willed, and hard work, we've been told. Auntie Judy down here once told myself and Aenith once that maybe if we were just a little bit less, that the men would stay. So, thanks for the advice. We're passing it on to Caoilfhionn.
Good girl.
Yes. So, it is a club that, granted, not many men have tried to become members of, but it is exclusive. And a big shout out to my dad, Pat Harrington. We have Aidan, we have Jim, we have Terence, and we have Niall. So they have a support group. There is a phone number. Call them anytime, okay? So I've been married a wet weekend now, pretty much. And so I have some advice, okay? Yeah. And first piece of advice to you guys going forward is to come to terms with not getting everything your way. If you want everything your way, you will be the only person folding the laundry in the particular way you like it folded and filling the dishwasher in the particular way you like filling it. The other piece, everything needs to be 50-50. Whether you win the lotto, from winning the lotto to putting out the bins, has to be 50-50. The couple that cleans together stays together. It used to be praised, now it's clean. The other thing is compliment each other. Say nice things. Hearing this, Niall? Yeah? Say nice things, right? Because, right? If you don't say it to each other, who else will? And technically, if the two of you both believe it, it can't be fake news, right? And my final piece of advice, and this is applicable to everybody in the room, watch Love Island. If you feel that there's anything wrong with your relationship or you're in any way dysfunctional, watch Love Island. You know, you'll realise there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine, okay? And I wish them all the love and happiness in the world.
Right, I have my notes here, so it won't be long, but it might be sweet, okay. So, first of all, I'd just like to ask Eileen, what does it mean to get things your own way? Because you'll have to define that for me later, because it has not happened for a decade. Okay? First of all, I want to say thanks to the bridesmaids. They look amazing. I know, yeah. No, they did a really good job of keeping Caoilfhionn calm, like, for the entire time. So I told you the 6th volume would help a lot, yeah, and it did, yeah. And my groomsmen, who were close by, they were amazing. They've all been amazing, but a special thank you to Brendan, who was tasked with doing an unholy amount of work this morning. And also Steve for leaving Glasgow for 7 days, which is very, very difficult to do. Yeah, so he's here, that's great. Okay, and now to my mum and dad. And I was trying to think of things to say about mum and dad without being, too sincere or too emotional about it. But the one thing that came to mind is that they're just really sound. From when I was really young, I was never pressured to do any subjects in school, do any college courses. I was actually forced to do music when I didn't want to do music going into secondary school. And essentially, they just let me do whatever I wanted, which is great. It's worked out well. So thanks very much for that. And then to my brother, Jared, here. He nailed the stag in Cork. He actually organised it so that the Champions League final was on, and Liverpool actually lost as well, so it was perfect. It couldn't have gone any better, so I don't know how you did that, but it was great. And now to Blá. So Blá, both Blá and Caoilfhionn, it's very difficult to describe the two of them in words. I was thinking about an interpretive dance, but the two words that come to me are kindness, and they would just literally do anything for you. Like they would 100% murder someone for me tonight. Like 100%. And from the very start So from the very start, I was always welcomed into the house and force-fed constantly. But I eventually learned to say no thanks, which I found out is not in the vocabulary of a McNamara. So thanks very much, Blá. I was always felt very welcome anytime I came to Stumullen. Okay, so on to Caoilfhionn. I think we should have just a little drink for Caoilfhionn. A cheers to how amazing she looks. Not one dress, but two dresses. Fantastic. Yeah. So I was trying to think back to when we met. So we met in college because we were doing music and history together in college, and she was actually living with Niamh and Stacey, who I knew from Kilkenny beforehand. Stacey Dunn lives around the corner from me from when I was born, so it's mad that she's a bridesmaid here today. And we didn't really, in first year, we didn't really know each other at all. I think we met briefly, maybe in a music lesson one day. And I remember having a really short conversation with her and just thinking, oh, you're really weird. So I was immediately intrigued.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, whatever. And then I think maybe a year before we actually got to be friends again, I knew I made like quite the impression on her from the first time we met, because we were in the library in Maynooth And keep in mind, we were doing the exact same course in the exact same year. And at the end of the conversation, and we were in Minute Library, and Caoilfhionn just goes, "What university do you go to again?" So I know I had her then, you know. So despite such an insult, we did become really, really good friends, and I ended up spending the last 6 months of third year in Beaufield with Caoilfhionn and some other people. And then we went off and did our masters, and then we started going out, and that was the end of it, really, you know. The beginning, yes, of the end. So we actually got engaged back in December of 2019, which is a bit mad to think about now, what happened in between then and now with everything. So it's brilliant to have everyone in the room together. And I didn't even know at that stage that I was going to experience my own personal pandemic, apart from the coronavirus, known as wedding planning, of which I don't think there's any vaccine found yet. So it started out as checking the numbers every day, 50, 100, 200. They were doubling day on day. Well, actually, I suppose I found out today the vaccine is actually getting married. That is the vaccine. Yeah, so we did it. We have the first jab. So most people do think that I suppose the groom is a guest at the wedding, really, which Caoilfhionn so beautifully articulated in her speech. But I think I did most of the planning for the wedding. Did I? I did. I made a list here. So Caoilfhionn only organised the venue, the change of venue, the church, the priest, the dresses, the suits, the reception, the food, the drinks, the reception, the music, the ceremony music, the accommodation, and I don't think that's even half of it. But I got to organise music. And similar to my dad and my mum, I'm not going to let tonight go without mentioning my aunties and uncles who I was very, very close to, Monica and Andy. Like the entire Murray family used to be Little Andys. Every single weekend I'd walk in and I'd be related to absolutely everybody in the room. So it's a loss not to have Little Andys, and it's a shame that they can't be here today, but they know we're all thinking of them, definitely. And actually, also Martin as well, who passed away a few years ago, although I'm not sure how Martin would feel about coming to Limerick the week after Kilkenny losing to him. He would have given it a miss, I think. And I suppose I couldn't let tonight go without mentioning the true love of Caoilfhionn's life, Freddie, the dog. So I'll end with a quote from Caoilfhionn, just to kind of sum up her love for me. This is verbatim. If I could choose between Freddie living forever or being with you forever, I'd choose Freddie.
Hello. First of all, it's brilliant to be here. Families together after the last 2 years. It's just been difficult, so it's just great to have everybody in the room. Everybody's happy, people that we care about, and it's just good times, you know? The last 2 years have been very hard. After hearing Peter say what Caoilfhionn organised in the wedding, it's a privilege for me to preside over the only 15 minutes that Caoilfhionn didn't organise. P is a good guy, he's very laid back. Now I know it's kind of a cliche for the best man to give a few embarrassing stories about him, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk about Peter's passions in life and his hobbies and stuff like that. So, as Mam alluded to earlier on, Peter tried everything, literally everything. He was into soccer, hurling, rugby, horse riding, karate. We did with Brother Bosco. Yeah. But Peter found his passion in music. And the minute Peter started getting into music, I knew this was it, like, because he was just glued to it. He loved it. He loved everything about it, everything. Now, I know I am biased in saying this, but Peter is extremely talented. He is extremely talented at what he does. He's a DJ, he's a producer. He can do anything. He has a cultured taste in music, but he didn't always have a cultured taste in music. So I can remember, don't worry P, I'm not going to tell the full story. I can remember when we were, I don't know why I went there, I probably minded you, but I think he was about 7 or 8, and he was obsessed with Boyzone. So we went to, I think it was O'Loughlin Gales, GA Hall to see Boyzone. It was just when they were getting really big, and P was obsessed with, I think it was Love Me For A Reason. Yeah, P was obsessed with Love Me For A Reason, so... Yeah, it's coming, P. You asked me. So we went to O'Loughlin Gales, and Love Me For A Reason was P's favourite song, and that was the reason why we went there. So we went into the hall anyway, and it was at the time when they were just getting big, all young girls liked them, and P. So we were there anyway, and we were just getting on, and P was kind of looking, he wasn't really into it, to be honest, and didn't play Love Me For A Reason. And so P kind of just gradually walked over to the corner of the hall and started bawling hysterically. And I was just like, this guy is weird. I met P in the late 80s. Mum and Dad just brought him home, and he just stayed there, like, you know, and that was it. And my mum said it earlier on, like, that P, everybody, like, even his groomsmen, probably a lot of you met him in college and stuff, and he's very laid back, he's very easygoing. But Jesus, he was a lunatic growing up. He was a lunatic. Like, you could not give him, like, a bottle of Coke. It was literally like taking a line of Coke for P. He was hyper. So I couldn't believe we still had him. Like, we were in the GA hall, and I couldn't believe that Mum and Dad still kept him. And he was crying in the corner because Boyzone weren't playing Love Me For A Reason. So Mum said to me, because Jared, just go over and talk to him. I didn't tell him to play Love Me For A Reason. So I went over, I strolled over, and I said, I'm feeling sorry for him at this stage, to be quite honest. I went over, I put my arm around him, and I said, Pete, don't worry, they're definitely not going to play Love Me For A Reason. And you are a little bit strange for liking them. So then things escalated, to say the least. Now you look at Pete today, suave, sophisticated, as Caoilfhionn said, very easy on the eye. Just picture P, counter image of P, in the corner, a little bit chubby at the time. Yeah. Definitely no front teeth. Definitely no front teeth. Crying hysterically, snots all over the place. But yeah, they kept them. They still kept them. All I can say is today as well is the bridesmaids look absolutely fantastic. Don't worry, and the groomsmen. Caoilfhionn, you look stunning today. Absolutely stunning. On a serious note, no messing. I know P probably, it's a privilege for me to be P's best man. I know you probably felt an obligation because like you were my best man, but looking at the rest of the groomsmen, you probably made the right decision, to be quite honest. P is a good guy. Me and P used to kill each other growing up, but we spent a lot, as Mum said she worked in the mornings, she worked in the evenings, so me and P spent a lot of time together. And yeah, we used to kill him. I used to completely bully him, to be quite honest with you. But we were always there for each other. I always had his back when he needed it, and that was in childhood and in adulthood. We were always there for each other. And I always appreciated Peter. He's just a great guy. And as simple as that, you won't meet a nicer guy than Peter. And that is the God's honest truth. I forgot to say at the start of this that this is going to be short and sweet. That's it. Could everyone please be upstanding for the bride and groom? I will leave you on a quote from the great Billy Connolly. Marriage was a great invention, but then again, so was the bicycle repair kit. To Peter and Caoilfhionn.
Clouds part just to give a little sun. Clouds part, yeah, just to give a little sun. There's a limit to your love. Waterfall in slow motion, like a map with no ocean. There's a limit to your love, your love, your love, your love. There's a limit to your care, so carelessly there. You give me, I know that only I can save me. I'll go right down the road. Oh yeah, there's a limit to your love. Like a waterfall in slow motion, like a map with no ocean. There's a limit to your love, your love, your love, your love. I can't read your smile. It should be written